Welcome back to the channel. Happy to see more of you around. This video is very interesting, and if you're a right-hander, I understand you're here to gain some knowledge about the left-handed race. But if you're a left-hander, this video actually might really help about how to set up your rifle or your carbine in a way that's good for you, because the world was not made for us. So looks like we're gonna have to do some things to get around that. So I've come up with a list of 6 things that are really important, at least for me, when it comes to setting up a carbine, and things that I've noticed to really help. You can always learn how to shoot a right-handed AR-15 or an AR pistol, but when you do set it up for a left-hander, there are benefits that right-handers just happen to get naturally. Starting off, most of the first ones are on the lower receiver, and you know, empty mag, but we're going to put that in there so we can use it as a placeholder. So the first one, and I'm gonna go from levels of importance, right? So I think the first one for me already is the safety selector. Now, typically on any other gun that you buy or any other parts kit, you're going to get one that's going to be over here on the right side or on the left side for right-handers. I almost immediately hate that, because what happens, if you can see, your finger is right here, and what happens is that it rubs against your finger in a way, especially when it's in fire. It comes down and it kind of gets in the way of you and the trigger. And as someone who doesn't, you know, it's just those little things that make it suck. So I got a left-handed safety selector, and it does make a big difference in terms of grip. So that's number one. I wanted to get that out of the way first because I think that's the most important. We're gonna go down to now some conveniences on the lower receiver, and that is number 2, your magazine release. This is how they come stock for anybody who's a right-handed person. They can pull their finger up from the trigger and pop that button, and the magazine will come out. Now that is so easy for right-handed people, but for the longest time I have had to come with my support hand, strip the mag out like this to change a magazine. That takes way too much time, and if it's a step you can skip, I recommend skipping it. So what I do is I also have an ambi magazine release. So the way it works is it has a little hinge on it that allows you to hit the button and from this side, and it will release the magazine. Just being able to have that there and be able to work on your magazine changes without having to strip it out and hit the button with the same hand you're stripping the magazine out. Number 3 is also on the lower receiver, and that would be the bolt catch, bolt release. When right-handers put their magazine in, let me flip around. They put their magazine in like this, and then they can just go ahead and hit that bolt release. That sucks for left-handers because you always have to go like this and then maybe tap it like that. I still have to do that. What I did was I just got a bigger bolt release, and this is the Geisley Maritime bolt catch, bolt release. It just gives that extra bit of space here, makes it really easy to hit. So when I get that magazine in, I just have to pop that and it's good to go. It's not a perfect fix, but it does make it a lot more usable. Alright, so those were the 3 more important ones. Here's the other 3, which are more of just having to deal with. And when I mean deal with, it's just that products don't come for left-handers, and so the first one will be the flashlight. For me, I mount it so that it works for a left-hander. I don't have the flashlight on this side over here. Allows me to get my hand up in there and it stays out of the way. When someone who's right-handed wants to shoot my gun, they kind of have to deal with the flashlight on this side, and you know what? They can deal with it because they don't have to deal with anything else. I think now is when we get into certain accessories that are important, and the sling is after the flashlight, probably one of the most important accessories or add-ons or something you put on your rifle. As a lefty, you're gonna have to stick this on the other side. There's my mount, and I do lock mine into the SBA 3 brace, but I lock it in on the other side. Alright, so this next one's a little more particular for my setup because I run the EOTech and a Magnifier, and I'll show you right now. The Magnifier does not come set up for left-handed shooters. It's set up for right-handed shooters. So I believe the EOTech Magnifier does the same thing, but it's got some screws here on the bottom that you can actually flip the mount around to make it go off to the side that you know that's not going to be obstructing your vision. Before, when I had this, it would flop off to the side right in front of my face. Makes it harder to have full awareness. So this now flops off to the side. That isn't bothering me. And I will show you how that now flops off to the side that I'm not using. So it's perfect. It's perfect. I like it. And it's just something you got to keep in account when you're running a Magnifier. Alright, so now we have the last point. And this point is it's just gonna happen unless you have an upper receiver that shoots the brass out the opposite way. So something you're just gonna run into is that when you're shooting, the brass will come out like this and it's just gonna hit your arm. It's gonna hit you and it's gonna burn. I have some arm burns from brass. Most of them have gone away, but the brass is just going to hit you in the arm and burn you and leave these marks. I'm not going to say that it sucks because it doesn't hit you long enough for it to hurt, but you're just going to have to get used to it. And you know, they look cool, so not really a downside, but it's different, you know. This is my lefty build, and I'll show you again. This is the build that I made a video about last video, and if you want to watch that, I'll add a link in the top corner so you can see that. Thank you for watching. If you did, if you liked it, give it a like. That helps YouTube a lot with promoting this channel, and subscribe if you like these kinds of videos. That is it. I will be signing off. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.